inspector is not required to walk on any roof surface, even if the roof is a flat roof and only 10 feet above the ground. The inspector is not required to walk upon any roof. It's dangerous. The inspector is not required to predict the service life expectancy of a roof system either. It's impossible to predict that. Some inspectors guess at the age of the roof covering material, but guessing or estimating is not required by the home inspection standards of practice. Roof. The inspector shall inspect from ground level or the eaves, A, the roof covering materials, B, the gutters, C, the downspouts, D, the vents, flashing, skylights, chimney, and other roof penetrations, and E, the general structure of the roof from the readily accessible panels, doors, and stairs. The inspector shall describe the type of roof covering materials. The inspector shall report as in need of correction observed indications of active roof leaks. Roof covering material. The inspector is required to inspect the roof covering materials, not the roof system. The system includes many components that are not readily visible and not accessible. For example, shingle fastening or nailing is part of the roof system, but it is not readily visible. Underlayment is part of the roof system, but it is not visible. Sheathing and its fastening are part of the roof system, but are not readily accessible and easily visible. So, when inspecting, making observations, taking notes, and writing the inspection report, a home inspector need only inspect and comment upon the roof covering materials. The International Residential Code refers to roof covering materials as material that is installed and secured to and cover the roof deck according to the manufacturer's recommendation in order to protect the building or structure. Stay safe. While the standards of practice requires inspectors to inspect the roof, how this is accomplished depends on the inspector's comfort level. Many inspectors never walk on a roof. In many cases, the safest way to examine a roof is from the ground. You may consider using a ladder extended up to the gutter at the eaves, but using a ladder is dangerous and a fall from a ladder could be fatal. Please refer to the Safe Practices for the Home Inspector course and the Ladder Safety Training course for further information. An inspection of the roof covering materials helps identify the type of material installed, such as slate, asphalt shingle, wood shake, roll roofing, etc. Based on a visual-only inspection, a determination may be made as to the general condition of the roof covering material, including observed indications of possible defects. Gutters and downspouts. Inspecting the inside of the gutters may help to provide additional information about the condition of the roof covering materials. For example, there may be excessive roof covering material or aggregate lying in the gutter, which may indicate a deteriorated or damaged condition. Water from the roof reaches the ground through gutters and downspouts or by flowing directly off roof edges. Because downspouts create concentrated sources of water in the landscape, where they discharge is important. Downspouts should not discharge where water will flow directly on or over a walkway, driveway, or stairs. The downspouts on a hillside building should discharge on the downhill side of the building. The force of water leaving a downspout is sometimes great enough to damage the adjacent ground, so some protection at a grade, such as a splash block or paved drainage chute, is needed. In urban areas, it is better to drain downspouts to an underground stormwater drainage system, if there is one, or underground to discharge at a lower grade away from buildings. All gutters need to be kept clean. They should slope uniformly, without sags, to downspouts. Drainage without gutters and downspouts can damage the exterior wall with overflow. If the roof has no gutters and downspouts, carefully check the exterior walls for signs of water damage. Flashing. Vents, flashing, skylights, chimney, and other roof penetrations can be a significant problem, as they are all engineered holes in the roof covering. If not properly installed or maintained, they may allow rainwater to enter the sheathing and/or the attic space. Some components, such as the chimney flashing, can be difficult to evaluate from up close. Check the flashing and joints around all roof penetrations, including drains, soil stacks, chimneys, skylights, hatchways, antennae mountings, and other roof-mounted elements. A leaking skylight is a common experience. From outside, watch the glazing for cracks or breaks, loosening of the flashing, and rusting or decaying frames. Skylights should be checked from the interior too. Don't be surprised if your skylight develops a leak right after your home inspection. But remember, a home inspector is not responsible for future weather events. General structure of the roof. Evaluating the roof structure is best done from inside the attic space with safe access. General structure of the roof. Evaluating the roof structure is best done from inside the attic space with safe access. It is an important part of the inspection. Inspectors must check the underside of the sheathing for signs of moisture penetration, looking closely at roof penetrations for signs of flashing failure and obvious signs of structural problems such as split rafters and improperly cut roof truss systems. A home inspector should check the general structure of the roof from the readily accessible panels, doors, or stairs. Roof covering materials can wear out, break, rust, crack, detach, blow off, or otherwise fail and expose the roof deck and structural components beneath to moisture intrusion and damage. The inspector is not required to walk on any roof surface, predict the service life expectancy, inspect underground downspout diverter drainage pipes, remove snow, ice, debris, or other conditions that prohibit the observation of the roof surfaces, move insulation, inspect antennae, satellite dishes, lightning arresters, de-icing equipment, or similar attachments. Walk on any roof areas that appear, in the inspector's opinion, to be unsafe. Walk on any roof areas if doing so might, in the inspector's opinion, cause damage. Perform a water test. Warrant or certify the roof. Or confirm proper fastening or installation of any roof covering material. Again, the inspector is not required to do any of these things. Walking on the roof surface. As discussed previously, walking on a roof is a matter of choice, but some roof coverings can be easily damaged by careless inspection. With materials such as slate, tile, and some types of shingles, an inspector can crack or dislodge parts of the covering. Life expectancy. Predicting life expectancy of any component can be very risky, and roof covering materials make that task more difficult still. A standard asphalt shingle roof, for example, has a lifespan that is dependent on prevailing weather, overhanging trees, the number of layers of covering, and adequate ventilation, to name but a few factors. Asphalt or composition shingles have a service life from 15 to 40 years, depending on the shingle quality, installation, and maintenance. When they begin to lose their granular covering and start to curl, the shingles should be replaced. No more than 2 layers of asphalt shingles should be in place at any one time. If a second layer of asphalt shingles has been applied, check to see if all the flashing materials of the first layer were removed and replaced with new flashing at the second layer. Check out InterNACHI's standard estimated life expectancy chart at www.nachi.org/life-expectancy. Underground pipes. Underground downspout terminations fall into the "if you can't see it, you can't report it" category. Often, the drainage system has failed due to silting up, root system blockages, or collapsed pipework. Removing snow or debris. It is also unsafe to walk most roofs when they are wet, icy, snow-covered, or mossy. Removing snow, ice, or debris is 3, 2, 1. Removing snow or debris. It is also unsafe to walk most roofs when they are wet, icy, snow-covered, or mossy. Removing snow, ice, or debris to inspect the roof is hazardous, similar to being up on the roof in adverse weather conditions. Roof attachments. Inspecting antennae, satellite dishes, and similar items is not required, but a home inspector could check their attachment to the fixed systems of the roof, such as chimneys and through-the-roof mountings. Water test. A home inspector is not required to perform a water test in order to evaluate or diagnose a roof water leak or moisture intrusion problem. Inspector shall report. The home inspector shall report as in need of correction observed indications of active roof leaks. It may not be possible to find an active roof leak, such as an active water drip coming from the roof covering materials. But there may be indications that you observed during a home inspection that provides evidence of an active or prior roof leak. Look for signs of dampness and watermarks. Your hand is a sensitive instrument to help find and confirm moisture or wet materials. Watermarks could be an indication of an active roof leak or a roof leak that occurred in the past. It is recommended to identify, describe, and report upon any indications of a roof leak that may have happened in the past. Here's an example of something that a previous inspector had written. They took a picture, an image of a bucket and a rag, and they wrote, "I observed indications of a roof leak. There is a water-capturing rag wrapped around the main vent stack pipe. There is a bucket to catch water drips. Actively dripping water was not observed at the time of the inspection, but it may be an active roof leak. There may have been a roof leak in the past. I recommend asking the homeowner to explain the indications of the roof leak. An active roof leak is a major defect, and correction and further evaluation is recommended." Fastening or installation. It is not required for a home inspector to inspect the fastening of the roof covering material or the roof structure, sheathing, or deck. Fastening is beyond the scope of a home inspection. It is impossible to inspect the fastening. Home inspectors are not required to inspect and confirm proper installation according to manufacturer's recommendations. Home inspectors are not required to inspect according to the building code. Home inspectors are not code inspectors.